So, welcome to the first module of the Personal Growth Accelerator. And this module one is called the Mindset for Growth. Here, we're just going to be trying to address mental issues that limit growth, issues in unseen issues, things in the mind that actually inhibit or limit our capacity for growth. And the first sprint in this module is going to be called Prepare for Growth. If you're going to embark on a journey of growth, there are some basic preparations that need to be made. And so we're going to cover that in this first sprint, preparing for growth. How do we lay the foundation on which we're going to build the kind of sustainable growth that is going to touch every area of your life? And so I'm just going to be sharing some thoughts on this, and there's an assignment at the end of this sprint that you need to do. First thing we need to start, first information I want to give you is that all sustainable change starts from within. Nothing becomes visible outside that has not happened on the inside. Anything we see on the outside is controlled by something on the inside that we don't see. Let me put it this way: every time you admire someone's results, you need to don't is you don't get carried away by the outward results. Yeah, this person is doing this amazing stuff. I want to be like this person. I want to do what they're doing. Yes, it's good to be inspired, but whenever you admire someone's results, you need to first find out what are the internal changes that they made that enable them to be able to generate the kind of results that you now see outwardly and you admire. Take a look at the picture on your screen. When you see a tree that is flourishing, has green leaves, has fruits, and is doing well, what is powering the freshness you see is actually unseen. It's something invisible beneath the soil, under the roots. When you see a tree drying and is withering, there's something at the bottom that you don't see that is powering it. Every change, all sustainable change, begins from inside. You cannot focus on the outside if you want to generate lasting change. And it's the same for you as a person. If you want to experience growth, you want to experience change in different areas of your life, your finances, your career, your ministry, your visibility, you don't spend time focusing on the things that people see. You need to spend time focusing on the things that nobody sees, which are responsible for the parts that people see. Okay, let me give you further examples. When you see someone smile, you see the smile outwardly, but what drives the smile is internal. So whether it's joy, sadness, or anger, they are all driven from inside. They are driven by things people don't see. So you hear an information, you get the news, and something goes into your mind that just gladdens your heart, and then a smile appears on the outside. People say, oh, he's happy. They are seeing happiness, but they don't see what is driving the happiness. Same thing with anger. Something is making someone to act mad, to act crazy. We don't see what it is. We only see the outward appearance of those things. It's like you are hungry. We don't see hunger, but when you see a hungry man, there are things he does and ways he talks that makes you know that this guy is actually hungry. So things on the outside are driven by things we don't see on the inside. Okay, the difference between the wealthy people and the poor are usually the invisible things, the things that we don't see. You may argue that, oh yeah, their habits are different, their routines are different, and all of those things, but you see, it's the information and the mindset that they have that actually drive the habits and routines that generate the wealth that we see. So there's actually difference between the rich and the poor, the wealthy and the poor. It's not the money they spend. They're actually information that they have access to. There's a mindset that they run with. There are philosophies of which they run their life. It's not the hard work. The truth is, the hard workers in this life are not the wealthiest people in the world. You know that. You can see it. That people work so hard, yet nothing shows. It's because it's the inside that drives the outside. So the next time you see success, you see affluence, you see somebody living the wealthy life, the life of your dreams, don't just think, oh, well, they are lucky. They just stumbled into it. No, 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 no. What you need to do is find out what are the invisible magnets attracting that level of success that they are living, and begin to ask yourself, what can I do to attract that level of success for myself? What are they doing? There's something they know that I don't know. There's something they are doing that I'm not doing. And rather than focus on the outward and say, okay, let me also live like them. Let me also, you can pretend. You can actually go to someone's car and pose by the car and snap a picture by the car. Those are externals. You don't own the car. You don't own those things. You don't focus on the outside. You don't try to fake it till you make it. That is a fallacy. You need to become it till you be it. That's internally. Make the inside become it, and then the outside becomes it. I think it's James Allen who has a quote that says, "It's impossible for you to be traveling on the inside and be stagnant on the outside." When your inside begins to change, the outside naturally follows up to catch up with it. So you can't ignore the invisible and expect to attract the tangible. I think someone also said that we attract the material equivalent of our most predominant thoughts. Who you are on the inside is who you become on the outside. To do things that you have never done before, you need to become someone you have never been before. Fantastic, cogent, and timeless principle. Look at the butterfly on the screen. This butterfly was once a larva, but it could not fly. For this butterfly to be able to go into the air and soar, it has to become something or someone it was not before. So at this level here, this butterfly could not fly, but it's, even though there is the DNA inside it, I have the capacity to fly. But until you have transformed into something that can fly or someone that can fly, you will never be able to achieve results that you're not currently able to achieve. So don't complain about saying, "Oh, well, why don't I have this kind of result? I'm not getting all of this attention. I'm not becoming this." No, don't focus on the outward. Instead, focus on becoming the kind of person that generates those kinds of results. Let me give you practical examples for this. Every audience has the kind of people they invite to speak to them. So there's a conference, there are conferences that hold, they have a description of these are the type of people who speak to our audience. You can't get an invitation to speak to that audience until you become the kind of person who speaks to that kind of audience. Don't say, why are they inviting people? Me, Nko, why won't they invite me? Have you become the kind of person? There's a description that they have in their mind. And sometimes it's not just knowledge. It's not just that you have the content. There is an all-encompassing person that they want, a personality that they want to invite to address their audience. Until you become that person, you will never get those opportunities. Every company have the kind of people that they look for to fill certain positions. You may be wondering, why am I not getting this kind of career opportunities? Why am I not getting that promotion? Have you become the kind of person who fit into that position? If you will do things you've never done, you must become someone you have never been. And these are the foundations for growth. You need to understand that there has to be a change and a transformation on the inside. There has to be a journey that happens on the inside before your external can begin to catch up with that internal. You see, I think I've read this many times, and principles are the same. They say you don't become a millionaire by chasing millions, you attract the millions by becoming a millionaire. So the proof of being a millionaire is not the money in your bank account, it is who you become. When you become a millionaire, millions find their way into your bank account. So you don't chase money and say, when I have millions and I become a millionaire. No, it is who you are that makes the millions come. It's who you are that makes the billions come. So whatever level you are thinking of becoming or the result you are thinking of seeing, a level in your career, in your ministry, in your finances, in your profession, in your business, in whatever space you're thinking of growing, don't chase the outside first. Start by developing and becoming and transforming to become the person who generates that kind of result. You want to fly? It's very simple. Develop wings, become a bird, and you will fly. Flying becomes natural once you have wings. And because of that, the greatest investment you will ever make as a person for your growth are investments to change your inside. The investment you should make is not to impress people on the outside. No, make investments to transform your inside. That is when you will begin to see the result you want to see on the outside. Remember, I talked about the garbage in, garbage out principle. What has not gone in cannot come out. Wisdom that has not entered your mind can never come out of your mouth. Knowledge that has not entered your brain can never come out when you speak. Until you have become something, you can never exhibit that thing. You can't harvest what you did not sow. It does not work that way. Even the Bible says it, as a man thinketh, so he is. As a man thinks, so he is. You are who you are on the inside, on the outside. Meaning, what we see on the outside is basically who you are on the inside. Everything outward is created by the internal. And so the transformation that you seek is not external. I know you need more money, you need more prestige, you need to attract more jobs, you need to attract more resources, you need to attract more attention, you need to attract the right kind of people. It starts on the inside. The pawn may look like a pawn, but once the inside of this pawn has told himself, I am a queen, it becomes a queen. If you play chess, you understand this analogy. What makes a pawn race for the touchline of the enemy line is because this pawn has told himself, I have the potential to become a queen. And once I get to that end line, I become a queen. And he begins that journey. It happens on the inside first before it begins to show on the outside. So the transformation you seek is on the inside. Forget about what you look like right now. It starts with an internal decision. Who do you want to be? Who do you want to become? And that starts taking me to the action point for this sprint. You need to start by making a decision. Who do I want to become? Who is the person that I am on this journey to transform into? What future do I want to create for myself? Yes, I have joined this program. I am on this journey. But this journey, where exactly am I going to serve? Did I just join because my friends are joining? Did I just join because I was impressed when I heard a few things and it just made sense? You have to have a mental picture. Where am I going to? Because your decisions, not your conditions, is what determines where you're going to, is what determines your destiny. Where you are today is an outcome of the decisions that you have been making over time. You are here today. You are in the city where you live because you made a decision to go there. Some of you are joining this program from outside Nigeria. You live in that country because you decided to go there. You live in that city, whether you are in Nigeria or anywhere, because you decided to live there. The job you are doing today, it was a decision you took to accept that job. When the offer letter came or when you put in an application, that was a decision and said, I want to work for this company. I want to work in this industry. I want to be in this space. And so you took a decision. Now, where you will be in life is simply a function of decisions, not conditions. Conditions are factors you cannot control, but decisions are factors you can control. And as you grow older, your life tilts from conditions to decisions. When you are a baby, when babies are born, babies' lives are driven by conditions. For example, you didn't choose the family you were born into. You didn't choose your nationality. You didn't choose whether your parents had money or they didn't have money. You didn't choose the neighborhood you were born into. As a baby, when you are hungry, you don't choose what you eat. Those are all conditions. Those are the conditions that surrounded your life at birth. But as you grew older, your life began to become less of conditions and more of decisions. At 3, at 5, it gets to a point where your parents will say, I mean, if you have children, you know how this works. As a baby, you dress your child. Those are conditions. The baby does not decide what they wear. But as they grow older, you want to give your child a clothes. The child says, no, mommy, I'm not wearing this shirt. This is what I want to wear. That child is going from conditions to decisions. What they eat, you say, okay, we have conflicts, we have Gold Demon. People say, no, I don't want conflicts. I want Gold Demon, or I want Cocoa Pops, whatever it is. Those are decisions. As people grow older, their life become outcomes of decisions. At the level you are right now, almost everything about you is driven by your decisions. There's no condition attached. There's no condition that can make you to be who you don't want to be. Forget the economy, forget philosophy, forget the politics. Those are conditions you can't control, but they are not what determine who you become. It is your decisions that become who you become, or that determine rather who you become. So let me start by asking you, who do you want to become? Because there's a secret, and let me share that secret with you. You cannot become something you don't see. You cannot become something you have not pictured. So if you have not imagined you becoming something, forget it. It cannot happen. Those things, life does not work that way. You must first visualize it, because remember that picture is, as a man thinketh, so he is. It is who you think you are that you become. If you think that all you are good to be is to be at the bottom of the pyramid, it's just to be someone who just gets by life, to live in a particular neighborhood, get a small house to rent, drive a small car, and just live comfortable. That is the peak you can become. If you see yourself as someone who is going to be an employer of thousands of people, that is who you're going to become. If you see yourself as someone who can live in any part of town, you want to live a life of options, you want to have dual nationalities, you want to have multiple passports that can go into any part of the world, that is who you're going to become. You cannot become something you don't see. So if you have conditioned your mind to a particular limit, congratulations. That is the limit you will ever reach. But if you can stretch your mind and say, this is who I want to be, this is where I want to get to, you can become it. And so I'm going to end this first sprint by giving you an assignment, a very simple assignment. I need you to do something, and it's called a personal manifesto. Write down your personal manifesto. In simple terms, what's a personal manifesto? I'm not referring to political. I know even a political manifesto. A political manifesto is basically a party telling us what they plan to do. Your personal manifesto is you telling us who you plan to become. So, this is something I want you to do personally. Get a notebook. In fact, you're going to submit it actually. So, and I did something, I wrote version 1.0, meaning I know that as we go on this journey, it's likely going to evolve. You're going to dream bigger, you're going to stretch it further. But for now, if you were to be introduced on a global stage, can you write down your ideal personal introduction? How should they introduce you? Who is the person you want to become? And in other words, describe the ideal you that you want the world to know. Use words and phrases that matter to your purpose and to your life. Use keywords. So the things that matter to you, put them in your personal manifesto. And I don't mean write an essay. It's not meant to be a two-page, three-page. No. Most times, your personal manifesto is one paragraph, two paragraphs, something straight to the point. For me, this was one of the activities that actually helped me to begin to think of the person I wanted to become. I began to ask myself, who do I want to be really? So I was doing a coaching program and I had to do this to write a personal manifesto. And I began to ask myself, okay, in my career, who do I want to be? So today, if you go to my bio online and my social media, you're going to see a particular word that describes me. You see the word innovation catalyst. It was at the point of my personal manifesto I decided, no, who do I want to be? And I realized, no, I want to be known as somebody who inspires creativity. I mean, I work with kids in that space. I work with children in the innovation space. I told myself, I want to be known as someone who helps children become creative. And that's where I coined the word innovation catalyst. But that was not enough. I told myself, no, it's not enough to be an innovation catalyst. I want to be an internationally recognized innovation catalyst, meaning my work cuts across borders. My resources are being used by nations, by countries, by governments, by institutions. And I told myself, I want to be an internationally recognized innovation catalyst whose work inspires generations and is patronized by governments. I began to write that down. That was me writing my personal manifesto. And while you are doing this, don't just think it's an assignment you are doing. There's another principle that you're putting into place, guys. The principle of creation. Everything we see in the world was created with words. So as you use your words to describe your life, you are actually creating something tangible using the tool of creation. The tool for creation are words, words, words. In the beginning, God created. How did He create? He just kept saying, He kept saying. So while you do this, if you are a person of faith, this is a time to see this as a prophetic action where you are calling into being the person you want to become. You're going to submit this, and don't be shy. All of us are going to read it. Yes, it's not going to be private. We will see it, and we will ask you questions, and we will hold you accountable. So write it down. I'm sure you're thinking, but you've not given us all the tools. I know as you go on, you're going to modify it and improve upon it. But for now, create a Google document. If you don't know how to use Google Docs, just go and Google it. Google Docs, create a Google Sheet or a Google Docs, write down David Ogunshola's personal manifesto. Put your name and say it. This is who I want to be seen as, I want to be known, and who I want to become. Write it down and submit it in the assignment section. I'm going to read every one of them and we're going to pick it up from there. Sprint 2 is going to come shortly. But for sprint 1, you have your assignment. Create your personal manifesto. Who do you want to become beyond where you are today? I'm waiting to see your assignments, and I hope that we pick it up from there. Dream big. You cannot become what you don't see. So see it, imagine it. Who you are is who you are in your mind. Write it down and then submit it. I'm waiting to see your assignments.